I'm getting all mixed up here. Get your head together. Alright. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Ox here with another video. If you're new to the channel, we do upload Pokemon Go content mostly related to PvP, so please consider subscribing to the channel if that is of interest to you. And if you're a returning subscriber like John Michael Arnaud, thank you for the support. In today's video, we are shoutcasting 2 sets of battles submitted to the channel by MarkGulbasaur, so thank you for the submission. These battles consist of a team featuring Shadow Golbat in the lead, did recently receive Poison Fang as a buffed move, Diggersby and Scrafty in the back. Diggersby is a level 51 best buddy Pokemon, and Scrafty is pretty much playing the role of the closer on this team. In a lot of these matches, this player tries to utilize Scrafty with a shield advantage to close out the game, so we'll see how that goes. This team does have some pretty decent coverage overall. Golbat provides some decent coverage for some of the weaknesses to this backline. You can see Azumarill kind of a problem for the team, so Golbat's going to have some heavy lifting to do. Looks like a fun team. If you guys enjoy this type of content, please make sure you smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And without any further ado, let's jump into the first battle right now. So let's jump into these battles right here, leading Shadow Golbat, Diggersby and Scrafty in the back. And right off the bat, we see one of the worst leads you could ever see with a Golbat. It is a Bastiodon. Safe switch is Diggersby, it looks like, on this team. So Medicham going to come in. This is not a good matchup for the Diggersby. However, it is pretty thick, so it could take some moves here. Opponent goes for the power-up punch. So Diggersby could actually land a couple of earthquakes here, possibly 2. And actually take a shield advantage possibly here in exchange for losing switch because the opponent is running power up punch. So the opponent going to throw another move here, should be another pup. This is not going to knock out the Diggersby. Diggersby should get to the earthquake, which is going to force the shield from the opponent. So Diggersby will be losing switch advantage here, but you will at least be able to come out of this with a shield advantage. So come back in with the Golbat. The problem is that Psychic will basically one-shot here. So going to let it go through, taking a chance. Is it the Psychic? Bang to himself. Golbat gets taken out. Scrafty coming in. Look at how much damage Scrafty takes right there. Basically at 60% of its health left. And the opponent still has 2 full HP Pokemon. Bastiodon and Sableye. We see a Sableye come in here. Really needs to land this foul play right here. Because if the foul play lands, then the Scrafty could start going straight power up punch and get those counters boosted for when the Bastiodon comes in the back. 2 shields here still for the Scrafty. Finish up the foul play, going straight pup here, wants to start getting those counters to add up immediately. And let's see if they can actually take out this Sableye. Going to throw another power up punch here before the Sableye gets to a move, so saving that shield. And this is going to take out the Sableye there. Opponent comes in with the Bastiodon. Smackdown not doing anything right here. Can Scrafty take this matchup? It's basically a 30 HP Scrafty versus a full health Bastiodon, but these counters are boosted. Headbanging its way to victory, takes that game. Scrafty pulling it off right there thanks to the power up punch boost. Huge win, very impressive. That was basically Scrafty with 60 HP against 2 full health Pokemon, managed to pull it off. We see Shadow Hypno right here, throws 1 move before the confusion registers and swaps out into the Diggersby. Very well played right there. Of course, the confusion damage is going to really hurt Golbat. Seems like there was a little bit of a glitch here when I received this particular battle. These frozen moments only happen in this particular battle, so it should be okay for the rest of the battles, but I apologize for the inconvenience this may cause. Tried to fix it up a little bit, but you can see the Azumarill basically not shielding anything here. Azumarill is a very bad matchup for Diggersby, of course, and the opponent's going to throw a move. Now I think Diggersby could potentially shield this and actually maintain switch, but they decide to let it go through. Hard to tell because of the frozen moments in that battle, so I couldn't really keep up there, but does lose switch there. Hypno comes back in, absolutely chunking away at this Golbat, going to throw the Shadow Ball right here. Is this going to land? Probably not. Definitely gets the shield from the Hypno there, and Scrafty comes in. So can Scrafty close out another battle? Hypno with a lot of energy here, going to respect the Focus Blast. It's only a Fire Punch, so definitely not going to shield up the second one here. And let's see if the opponent decides to stay in or swap out. I imagine they swap out here as we get a little bit more freezing. It's only in this battle, I promise. And we get a notification up there that I cannot translate. Foul play onto the Hypno. And the Hypno's staying in for some reason, so I would imagine that their final Pokemon must be very weak to Scrafty. And let's see if they're going to swap out on this foul play. Yes, they are very well timed, but unfortunately for the opponent, despite that great swap, it's another Bastiodon, and this Scrafty is already absolutely loaded on energy. So, well, not on energy, but on boosts from the pup. So it should be able to farm down here before the Bastiodon actually gets to a move, I believe. Can they get to it? Yes, they can. Farm down, swap out into Golbat here. I believe they had the foul play ready, but they want to show some BM right here and end this with the Poison Fang. Bang! There it is. Hypno gets taken out. A very impressive win here against some very difficult leads. Let's hop into the next battle. We got Golbat into a Galarian Stunfisk. So the leads just keep on getting worse right here. Diggersby, the safe switch, and we see defense Deoxys come in. Deoxys, a pretty decent response for Diggersby here, so possibly going to lose switch advantage again, and they do shield up the Earthquake. That is I mean, it's nice that they got the shield, but the Deoxys now pretty much guarantees that it's going to win switch. Running Thunderbolt, and it appears Psycho Boost, so throwing the Thunderbolt, which isn't doing anything to the Diggersby. However, they do not want to lower their attack, so they probably want to save those Psycho Boosts for the Golbat or whatever chooses to come in. And they can't really come in with Scrafty here, so it's probably going to have to be the Golbat. So this is actually a very tricky spot right here, and Deoxys does seem like a core breaker for this team now that I look at it, so that is not very good. Going for the Fire Punch here, I actually think they should just went for one Earthquake instead of the two Fire Punches, because if they went for the Earthquake, they would have either got the second shield or switch advantage there. Instead, by going for the two Fire Punches, they have to take a move here onto Golbat, and pretty much anything Deoxys throws is going to hurt Golbat, so they don't shield that. Saving two shields once again for Scrafty, and it's a Skarmory in the back. And thankfully for this trainer, having two shields is basically the only way you can beat Skarmory here. You need to have a shield advantage in order to take out the Skarmory using Scrafty. So building up with the pups here, going to shield up the Skarmory, of course. Sky Attack going to be doing a lot of damage right here. And can they farm down? No, they're going to throw the move here. I actually wasn't counting, so I'm not sure if they got to another Sky Attack there. But they are going to get the shield here. And look at that, they could have actually maybe farmed down even, but the opponent decided to shield anyways. They do not want this Scrafty anywhere near the Stunfisk with these boosted counters. And Power Up Punch at this point is doing a lot of damage. Able to swap into Golbat to catch the move here. So this was totally unnecessary, but they wanted to end it in style. Beautiful catch. Win that game with a shield in hand and off to a 3-0 start. Let's hop into the next battle right here. And Golbat doing a lot of work in this match. We've got Mew here. So Mew versus Golbat, not a great lead either here, and I would consider this another lost lead. Swaps out into Diggersby. Of course, this is going to be a Surf, because that was very quick. I mean, if they try to catch, it could have been Wild Charge maybe actually, but very unlikely you're going to throw Wild Charge at that start. So do catch the super effective Surf there, but it doesn't do too much to Diggersby. Diggersby is very thick, of course, and Azumarill comes in, takes an Earthquake right there. And this should probably be enough to take out the Diggersby. Let's find out. Hydro Pump, that's going to be overkill on the Diggersby actually. And going to come in here with the Golbat, of course, and throw the Poison Fang. I believe the Azumarill might actually get to a move here, so they might have to shield once. However, it doesn't look like this Azumarill does have Ice Beam here, so you could potentially let this go, assuming it is the Play Rough, and it is the Play Rough, but wants to keep some health on that Golbat. Actually don't know how much Play Rough would do to a Shadow Golbat despite being resisted, so probably better to be safe than sorry there. Gets the Shadow Ball off, which gets the shield, and it's another Scrafty versus Skarmory here, and this is not an ideal matchup now in the even shield situation. Did get a slight energy lead though, so let's see how the opponent wants to play this out. They're not building up for the Brave Bird, so going straight for the Sky Attack, and the Scrafty is going to shield that up anyways, and they're going straight Power Up Punch here. So let's see if this Scrafty could outpace the Skarmory to the Sky Attack here. They should be getting, no, gonna get to one more pup. And I believe the Skarmory might actually fall short of the Sky Attack. They should get to it right now. Not able to do it. Scrafty takes that out. You need to swap into Golbat here. You need to swap. Oh, needed to swap out into Golbat to catch this move in order to get the foul play off on the Mew, I believe. I think that was the only win condition here. Overcharged on the Poison Fang. Not sure if Poison Fang would KO the Mew from that range, but they're going to get taken out there. If Poison Fang would not KO, then the only win condition was sacking the Golbat and hoping that the Scrafty could come back in and outpace the Mew to the foul play. But GG's, Golbat into Altaria right here. And this is This is a matchup that was never really close, but because of the Poison Fang buff, it's a lot more manageable now. So let's see how this plays. Going to shield up the Sky attack here. And you can see that these wing attacks are starting to chunk because of the Poison Fang dropping that defense. And Altaria is going to shield. So defense keeps getting lowered. And Altaria is still going to win this, but actually gets outpaced to the Poison Fang. Is the Altaria going to shield this up? They do. So that is a huge break right there for Golbat. Does get farmed down, but they still have a shield. Come in with the Diggersby, which could easily tank anything from the Altaria right here. So I like this play. Are they going to go for the farm down? No, they're going to go for the Fire Punch, want to get rid of this Altaria before it does any more damage. So I think they could have farmed up a little bit more maybe, but probably didn't want to take any more damage. A Medicham comes in the back. This is very problematic. Both of these Pokemon really struggle against Medicham in the back. When it goes for the Power Punch, that is very, very bad here. Scrafty in the back isn't going to enjoy this at all. Earthquake comes through, swaps out into Scrafty immediately. It's going to take a lot of damage here from these Power-Up Punch, increasing the counter damage, but going to go for the foul play here. This will be enough to take out the Medicham. The Scrafty is still relatively healthy, still at about 50% HP, and it's a Jellicent in the back. Foul play going to be doing a lot of damage here. Does this Jellicent have Ice Beam is the question, because at this point that's probably what's going to win the opponent the game. Huge call right here. It's a Bubble Beam. That is absolutely incredible. Should be able to get to the foul play. I'm not sure if this Bubble Beam will KO, but they should swap out immediately after this regardless if it does or not. Swap out, very well played, and get to... I don't think Fire Punch will KO here, so maybe going for the Earthquake would make more sense. Fire Punch doesn't KO, but can they get to a second one? Yes, they can. Second Fire Punch coming through. This is going to be enough to take out the Jellicent. Very well played there in the end game. Takes that game. So jumping into the second set of battles, has reached rank 18 now at this point. Went 4-1 in that first set. Let's see if they could keep the momentum going in the second. Absolute Power 7 here. Same team, Shadow Golbat lead, and we see a Drifblim right here. So pretty interesting matchup. Of course, there is a lot of baiting here. The Drifblim could just go straight Icy Wind basically, because Icy Wind is going to chunk this Golbat. So gonna let it go through. Let's see how much this does. It is a Shadow. That is a lot of damage right here. Building up for the Shadow Ball and going for the bait with the Poison Fang. This is very threatening to the Drifblim. They're gonna shield it up. Can they get to the Shadow Ball here? Yes, they can. So it's either take switch or the second shield from the Drifblim. They probably don't want to go down 2 shields. Bang! There it is. Drifblim gets taken out. And they're down in shield, so that's a very bad. And look at this. It's a Shiftry, Nidoqueen, hard counter city right here. Winning switch was very important. Diggersby going to wall this Nidoqueen right here. Now it's not a Shadow Nidoqueen, so it's not as nice as you'd like it to be, but it's still a very dominant matchup. Does get the shield there. This Diggersby still has 2 shields, and they could actually let this go through. This is not going to KO and still get to this Earthquake. Poison Fang bait. That's not going to cut it. Shiftry going to come back in, and it's not going to appreciate the Scrafty in the back. Maybe they can land the Fire Punch right here. Nope, Shiftry going to take out the Diggersby. No reason to shield here. Just save the shields for the Scrafty and take this game very comfortably. Opponent does not want the smoke. They back out of the match. Takes the first game of the second set. Let's hop into match number 2. So we got Shadow Golbat into Altaria. So another Altaria lead. And once again, it's not a great matchup for Golbat. However, Altaria is actually problematic for this whole line if you look at it. So you kind of have to stay in here with the Golbat. Just do as much damage as possible. Keep on lowering the defense and hope that the back line could come in. It's going to have to be Diggersby, of course, and clean up. So Golbat going to shield there. Just going straight Poison Fang right here. These are definitely adding up. And the opponent's going to let that one go through. So Golbat going to be able... No, can't farm down. So going to let this go right here. Did not want to take switch advantage in exchange for 2 shield deficits, so decided to just let it go. Come in with the Diggersby and farm down, get a nice little energy lead. It's a Swampert that's not very good, coming Scrafty, but look at this. Opponent swaps out to Stunfisk here, so this is actually very bad for the opponent because although they did win switch, their Stunfisk is extremely weak to both Scrafty and the Diggersby in the back, so that is very problematic for the opponent right here. Scrafty going straight Power Up Punch. This is really going to pay dividends against the Swampert. So they are down 2 shields here. But Scrafty is loaded. And Scrafty should also be able to survive at least 1 Hydro Cannon here. So the opponent gives up the first shield right there. Counter is adding up. I believe that Scrafty will survive this. You don't want to swap out here because you're doing a lot of damage with the counters. Force them to throw the energy immediately, which they do. They should be dry now. And I believe Diggersby could actually come in here and potentially win this matchup. But going for the Fire Punch, so they're probably going for 2 Fire Punches here. I would have probably just went for 1 Earth. Oh no, they had a shield still. So had to get the bait there, which they were able to do. And now they just need to build up for the Earthquake. Very well played. Hydro Cannon is not going to be enough to KO. Can they outpace 2 Earthquake? Yes, they can. This should be enough to take out the Swampert right here. Yes, it is. Takes it out. Diggersby coming through clutch, taking that game. These are not easy battles by any means. Very well played right here. Shadow Golbat into Sableye. Another interesting lead matchup. Swaps out into Diggersby. And the opponent banks a couple of energy. Swaps out into Swampert. So back-to-back battles, seeing Swampert here. Going to go for the Earthquake. Landing the Earthquake is very crucial to win this match. And they land it! That's huge because now Diggersby could technically win this matchup and can go just straight Fire Punch. Going to be applying a lot of pressure right here. Swampert does give up the shield. Hydro Cannon going to come through. Is the Diggersby going to look to maintain Switch? I mean, neither Pokemon has a great matchup against the Sableye, so maybe Switch isn't too important, but they are going to shield up here. So are they going to go for Switch or just look to get the second shield from the Swampert? I don't think the Swampert can win at this point, so they're probably just going to let this go through. They do. And now the opponent comes back in with Sableye. Sableye, of course, cannot farm down, so they're forced to throw energy right here. Diggersby gonna let it go through and come in with the Sableye, or the Scrafty. Here comes the Nidoqueen, and here comes the Crobat, or the Golbat. I'm getting all mixed up here. Shadow Golbat, get your head together. Alright, so going for the Shadow Ball right here. This should be enough to take out the Nidoqueen. Opponent shields it up. And I think at this point, the Golbat will probably just let this go down. Nidoqueen definitely in the range of a foul play, but perhaps the Scrafty wants to go for the power-up punch and farm down so that these foul plays do a lot more damage after to the Sableye in the back. It'll be very interesting to see how this plays out. Poison Fang comes through. Looks like the Scrafty is going to go for the power-up punch. This should be enough to take out the Nidoqueen from this range and then have the boosted moves ready. Here comes the foul play. The Nidoqueen actually did not get taken out, so that is not optimal. Going for the foul play right here. And let's see if this Scrafty can get to the power-up punch. They are going to be able to get it. Will Scrafty be able to take out that Nidoqueen? Remember, the defense has been lowered because of the Poison Fang. Nidoqueen comes back in. It's a draw. Oh my goodness, they did have the shield in hand, but the extra shield does not count as a win. Do you guys think that should matter? Do you think if it's a tie and you have a shield advantage, you should win the game? Let me know in the comments, because I don't think it should, but maybe it should. That's a pretty interesting concept, actually. Anyways, we got Marowak right here in the lead. Opponent brings in the Vigoroth to counter the Diggersby safe swap, going for the Earthquake right here. This is a pretty good matchup for Vigoroth, so let's see how this is going to play out. Going straight Body Slam right here. Body Slam will be more energy efficient in this scenario. And Diggersby is landing a lot of Earthquakes right here. Going for the Fire Punch. Vigoroth may shield this. They do. And at this point, the Vigoroth should be able to take this quite comfortably. Maybe the Diggersby gets off one more Fire Punch. Probably not. No, I don't think they'll reach this. So they do get farmed down just before the Fire Punch. Vigoroth has a bit of energy. And this should be a Body Slam. Golbat going to tank it, although it is a Shadow. Going to tank the Body Slam. It's still in the green, so that's not too bad. Able to farm down. That is absolutely huge. Loaded on energy now. Let's see what the opponent's going to do. Come back in with the Alolan Marowak. I like this play going straight Shadow Ball. No point throwing the Poison Fang if you're going to swap out, because they're going to swap out anyways when they see the Scrafty. Here comes Alolan Ninetales. Oh my goodness. The worst thing to see. Well, not the worst, but one of the worst things to see when you are running a Scrafty. They actually got a shield. Did they get a shield there? No, they didn't get a shield. They did not get a shield from the Alolan Ninetales. That would have been crazy. They have no shields left. So going to throw the Poison Fang immediately here. I think I might have overfarmed a little bit more because you want to get to this Shadow Ball here. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do it because Fire Spin does still add up against the Shadow. Opponent's throwing a move here, so they definitely have to have 2 moves if they're throwing here. Otherwise, it would make sense to just commit to the farm down. And there it is. They do have the second move ready. I feel like getting that extra energy against the Ninetales may have been the difference in that matchup to get to the Shadow Ball in time. But either way, very well played. GG's to both players. Let's hop into the final battle of the video, I believe right here. We got Golbat into a Skarmory. And this is not a good lead, so swaps out into Diggersby. And the opponent comes in with Stunfisk. Oh my goodness, what is the opponent doing right here? This is not what you want to bring into Diggersby. You may as well have stayed in with the Skarmory, to be honest, if you're going to bring in this. And they let the Earthquake go through. They really thought that the bait was coming. You could see the difference in the Earthquake damage from both sides. Going for the Fire Punch right here. This is going to take out the Stunfisk. The opponent shields, which is not a good idea there either, because this is not going to knock out the Diggersby, and it's only a Rock Slide. Going to undercharge here with CMP tie, so hitting no bubbles to get an extra mud shot through. Able to do it, very nicely done. Opponent is in a world of hurt if that's their best answer for Diggersby. Skarmory comes back in. Of course, Skarmory probably will be able to farm down here with the Air Slash, but it's going to have to take a couple of Fire Punches. At least 2. I don't think there will be a third one, but things are not looking good for the opponent right here. Fire Punch comes through. Skarmory does farm down, so has a lot of energy, so you definitely do not want to come in with the Scrafty here, have to burn those shields. So I imagine the Golbat will come in instead. There's the Bastiodon. That's why they were afraid of the Diggersby, and this game is basically over. Scrafty going to absolutely obliterate. His messages are popping off like, oh my god, it's a Bastiodon on the back. Can you believe it? Bastiodon, Bastiodon. Everybody's going crazy watching this on the live stream. Scrafty taking care of business right here. Bastiodon goes down. Skarmory loaded on energy. That's why they had to save these shields for the Scrafty right here. Going to be back-to-back Sky attacks. Shield them up both and finish this game off with the foul play. No, going to go for the head-banging counter down. GG's, disrespect, beautifully done, well played. Thank you for the battles. So those were the battles featuring Shadow Golbat, Diggersby, Scrafty core in the back. Very fun team. You could see that the Diggersby Scrafty core did cause a lot of problems for a lot of these backlines, especially the teams running Bastiodon, Galarian Stunfisk. Definitely not a fun time for those players. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, commenting, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.